Hello there and welcome back to the Euro Roundup with me and Mauro, a cardigan over here, where we're going to look at the highs and lows of European football from the weekend just past Pato, starting here in Britain, in London in fact, with Chelsea who beat Hull 2-0.
Yes, they did. Diego Costa got his 15th of the season. He's almost as good as Alexis Sanchez. Oh, not really. Gary Cahill also bagged late on to seal the victory. But the really important thing here is that Liverpool lost to Swansea, Spurs and City drew. So Chelsea have seen themselves pull away from the pack this week by simply beating Hull at home. They're now 8 points ahead of Arsenal. They're 9 ahead of Tottenham. There's so many ahead of Liverpool, City and United. It's not even worth mentioning. But this actually was a pretty tight affair. Marco Silva has firmed up that whole back line. In this game, both sides had 9 shots. Chelsea had 5 on target. Hull had 4 on target. So this could have gone very differently. Hull could also have had a penalty. It was a very clumsy challenge from Alonso.
It was definitely a penalty.
Yeah, but going forward, Alonso and Victor Moses very good again. Moses, 2 tackles, 2 dribbles, put in Diego Costa for the breakthrough goal. They actually had more possession than Matic did in centre midfield. So that really shows the way that Conte's team builds play down the flanks. Alonso won 4 aerial duels, mate, and he was up against Abel Hernandez, who is a pretty decent physical specimen. He's a quick lad as well.
Big lad.
And Alonso dealt with him very, very well. There was also a lovely flick over Robertson's head, which was pretty tasty as well. Sent him back to primary school. Conte has now won 60 of his last 71 league games. Now, admittedly, a bunch of those were with Juventus in a laughably uneven Italian league. But that's 85% of those league games.
For all you maths fans out there.
What a piss taker, mate.
That is absolutely mental. And as you mentioned, it was a very good job that the fullbacks were at the races because the front three, not so much. Well, barring Diego Costa, Hazard and Pedro huffed and puffed, but could not blow the house down. They only completed 3 dribbles between them. Hazard did tot up around 70 touches. Wow. So he saw a lot of the ball, but he was carefully marshalled by the one and only Harry Maguire.
Ballon d'Or 2018.
He was immense in this game. He was purchased a couple of years ago from Sheffield for what seems a paltry sum now of 2.5 million, Pat. And he was an absolute monster on the night. He put in 4 shots for starters. That's mental for a centre-back. Considering that Hull only had 4 on target, it gives you, some sort of indication of how far forward he was actually going. He completed 5 dribbles. He's built like the fucking Hulk, so the fact he completed any dribbles is hilarious. Won 8 aerial duels and put in 8 tackles.
Oh my God.
With a pass accuracy of 90%.
What a player.
It's like fucking action man, mate. And Andre Silva's men, as you say, continue to look very solid. This was far from a rudimentary win, was it? They lost possession roughly as many times as Chelsea, 22 to Chelsea's 24. Didn't commit any individual errors, which they have been doing, well, they were doing long before Silva got there under Thielen. And they committed a similar amount of fouls, 12 to Chelsea's 10. And this was a game where Courtois actually made more saves than Jakupovic. I think I pronounced that correctly. So yeah, it was tight. And our best wishes to Ryan Mason, obviously, who suffered a nasty collision with Gary Cahill. Apparently he's in a stable condition this morning, so yeah, we're delighted to hear that. But guys, can you see anyone catching Chelsea? 8 points now. Is it going to be the Arsenal, not Pat? Let us know in the comments below.
Nips are so cold right now. Fucking Batman nips.
Cut glass with these fuckers.
First up in our losers category, it's Milan. The Rossoneri lost 2-1 at home to Napoli, so that leaves them down in 7th place. They're 2 points off their rivals Inter, who are in 5th, but they do have a game in hand, so they could still catch them up. But this was a missed opportunity to make up some ground on the teams ahead of them. Goals from Insigne and Jose Callejon in the opening 10 minutes proved too much for them to come back from, and both of them were created by Dries Mertens, that man again. He's got 12 goals and 2 assists for the season, and he only really started getting into the side pretty much around the beginning of December. In the last 6 Serie A games, he's been involved in 11 goals, which tells you how many goals Napoli are scoring at the moment, but also just how vital Mertens has been.
And he should have had a couple more this game as well.
Yeah, he had some chances. He could have added to his tally, but it didn't matter in the end as they still ran out winners. Now, his first time ball for Insigne was absolutely sensational.
Bella.
Donnarumma may feel like he should have saved it, but it's a fantastic goal. And the second, he's left his man behind, played it for Callejon, who makes an excellent run and finished from a tight angle. Mertens making the difference once again.
Yes, and maybe this shouldn't have come as a massive surprise, Pato, as Napoli have 18 points on the road this season. That is more than any other Serie A team, so they're an all-conquering outfit away from home, and AC Milan have only beat them once in 5 attempts at home. So it's safe to say that Napoli, the little donkeys, are the Rossinieri's bogey team. Now, AC Milan actually dominated large sections of this game. They had more shots. They had 13 to Napoli's 9. They outpassed Napoli with 640 passes to 490, but crucially, they lost possession 10 more times than their southern counterparts. With Pasalic and Bonaventura extremely guilty of this, the latter actually lost the ball 5 times. That is more than the whole of the Napoli front 6.
Wow.
So yeah, extremely wasteful, though he was probably AC Milan's biggest threat, and he also completed 5 take-ons, so I'm sure all will be forgiven. But yeah, that left them terribly exposed to Napoli's really quick counter-attack. When you've got players like Insigne up top, Hamzic came on, it's deadly to give the ball away that carelessly. And Jorginho in the centre of the park was also essential to disrupting AC Milan's play. The Brazilian put in 6 tackles. There's a monstrous performance from him, and he looks like a very savvy acquisition, in and out of the team since his move from Verona, but I think there's more to come from him, Pato.
Yeah, definitely. Only 25 years old. Still plenty of time for him to turn into a world beater.
Definitely.
But can Napoli catch Juventus? Can anyone catch Juventus? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Our next winners takes us over to the Bundesliga, Pato, and it is Lewandowski, who Aniket 6,700, obviously Aniket's a popular name, wanted in the winners section, and we agree after his deadly double against Freiburg.
Yeah, he got Bayern Munich a 2-1 win over Freiburg. That keeps the Bavarians 3 points ahead of Leipzig. Now, Freiburg actually took the lead in the 4th minute with a driven finish from Haberer following Mats Hummels' dodgy little clearance.
Terrible, mate.
Now, actually, Bayern haven't kept a clean sheet since the 6th of December. Strangely enough, that was against Atletico Madrid. So it's a little bit disappointing for them on the defensive end at the moment. But we were very impressed by Freiburg's 20-year-old right-back Stenzel in this game.
Mate.
6 tackles, 2 dribbles, pass accuracy of 94%. And bear in mind that the guy he was marking in this game was Douglas Costa. So it was not an easy night for the youngster. But Chris has obviously got to talk about your man Lever.
So for all you football manager nuts out there, get Stenzel signed up right now. But yes, Pato, on a cold night in Saxony, it was all about Lever, with the Poles double taking his total league tally to 14 this season. That's a goal every 105 minutes, only bettered by PEA over at Dortmund. Now, his first came in on 34 minutes, and it's from a Costa corner. It's a lovely volley. You know, fairly simple stuff. Freiburg set up zonally. No one picked up Lewandowski. But it was the second goal. The second goal was his piece de resistance, Pato.
Oh, it's amazing.
The touch he took off his head, the second touch off his boot, and then he just steered it bottom left.
It's great for him.
Yeah, it's very cultured, you might say. He also did the hard yards as well, winning 4 aerial duels in the night, carving out 4 shots for himself. Obviously, the 2 he did get on target went in, so pretty lethal on that front. And Ian Robin also secured a personal accolade for himself. He has now got the highest winning ratio for a starting player at Bayern Munich. And I think he's got the same accolade at Chelsea. So basically, when the Dutchman starts, when he's fit, his team wins.
Our next loser comes courtesy of @Benji Gribben, who wanted Manchester United in there. Obviously, he finds it as hilarious as we did that United drew 1-1 away at Stoke in a repeat of the reverse fixture earlier in the season.
Yes, mate, it was painful viewing if you're a United fan. Once again, they were dominant, as they were in that other fixture, having 25 shots to Stoke's 6, I believe, and also having 8 on target to Stoke's 1. The freckles were literally jumping off Joe Tomlinson's face during this game. It was hilarious. And they looked destined for defeat, didn't they? Until Wayne Rooney, Captain Fantastic, stepped up in the 94th minute and whipped in a, quite frankly, the divine free kick.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was absolutely superlative, mate. And he has now scored more away goals than anyone else in the Division 2 on 88. So he loves hitting the road, you know, where Colleen doesn't know what he's doing. A Wanmatter own goal put the Potters ahead, and the Spaniard was actually guilty of wasting an enormous chance where he put it over from a Zlatan cross from about 6 yards out. And Zlatan had a pretty quiet day, didn't he? It's pretty uncharacteristic of the Swede, especially given his recent form.
Yeah, United had 25 shots, as Chris has said, but Ibrahimovic actually only had one of them, and it was blocked. Now, that's a real problem because he's been absolutely sensational for them this season. Now, he did create 2 chances as well. One of them, that Mata one that he spooned over when it was easier to score, but they need to get Zlatan involved in games because Stoke just marked him out. Now, United are still unbeaten in 17 games, during which they've climbed from a lowly position of 6th in the league to the heady heights of 6th in the league. It's been an incredible part of their season. You know, they're now 4 points off 4th place Liverpool. Amazing stuff. 14 points off leaders Chelsea, still in the hunt. Definitely mathematically possible. Now, they have only lost 3 games in the league this season, which is the same as Arsenal, Chelsea, you know, so that's okay. The problem is draws for Man United. They've drawn 8 games. The only other team in the Premier League to have drawn as many games as United this season are Middlesbrough, who pretty much shut it down at both ends of the pitch. United, they need to start winning these games because otherwise they're going to see their top 4 challenge slip away, having already seen a title challenge sail over the horizon.
What do you think?
Tomlinson's going to explode.
Do you think they're going to finish top 4?
No.
I think they will. Who do you agree with? Let us know in the poll just above. Over to the Madrigal now Pato, or as it's been recently renamed, the Ceramic Stadium. Top marks for invention, where Valencia beat Villarreal 2-0 in a very credible win that's obviously put them some way from relegation.
Yeah, Carlos Soler and Santi Mina scored the goals in this game. They had actually gone 26 away games in La Liga without keeping a clean sheet. And actually, they're probably a little bit lucky to get one here because they were outshot 20-13, 5 shots on target for both sides, and yet they managed to win 2-0. Now, Villarreal is 6th and were undefeated in 5 league games going into this match. They'd earned a draw with Barcelona 1-1. They'd beaten Atletico Madrid 3-0. So they're a pretty formidable prospect, especially at home. But Voro's side looked very solid and dangerous as well. This is obviously his 3rd or 4th time as caretaker manager of the club, and he's now been given the job till the end of the season. Understandable, because already they're starting to look like a better side again, aren't they?
Yeah, it's 3rd or 4th time in charge, but he still doesn't want to take it on a permanent. Says everything about the running of that club.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, Nani is in excellent creative form as well, mate. So huge kudos goes to him with 4 assists in 2 La Liga games.
Wow.
Valencia now at 6 points from their relegation zone with a game in hand. So
yeah, up to 15.
Things are looking better for Los Che.
Our final losers are going to be dealt with quickly because the studio is extremely cold and also I didn't see this game. Chris Hamill,
yes.
Tell me all about Sporting Lisbon. Oh, that's not their real name.
I think you mean Sporting CP.
Whatever.
Have a bit of respect.
Go
One
ahead.
of Portugal's most illustrious sides.
Who drew 2-2
Yes,
with
I
Maritimo.
had the pleasure of watching the draw against Maritimo, and it was just as impressive as their 2 previous games against Chavez.
So not very.
It's not been going well for Lisbon, basically, Pato. My old mate George Jesus, his side went behind twice with goals from Bessa and Silva before Bas Dost, yes, the best named man in football. He sounds like a Bond villain, and Martins dragged Sporting back into the game. This is now Bas Dost, the big Dutchman. It's his 14th league goal this season. That's a goal every 91 minutes, Pat. That is pretty lethal from a man who was rejected by who?
Wolfsburg.
Ding.
Rubbish.
Sporting Lisbon are now 4th, 1 point behind Braga and 10 behind Benfica.
No title.
It's a pretty dire state of affairs.
That's why you're in our losers, mate. Sort your name out.
Quick special mention, we totally forgot about this, for our losers section is Pescara, who set a new negative record of consecutive Serie A games without a win. 19.
19 games without a win. Jesus. Even the Derby County of Robbie Savage would take their hats off to an achievement like that. That's incredible. But let's go into highlight and low light of the week. What is your highlight of the week? I've actually got an inkling.
I think my highlight of the week, apart from defeating the mighty Stirling Albion 3-0 away from home on their AstroTurf pitch, was Celtic's new song about Scott Sinclair.
To the tune of the logical
To
song.
the tune of the logical song, Run VT.
Well, my lowlights of the week, there are plenty of options this week, but actually it's obviously got to be Mario Balotelli suffering racist abuse at the hands of Bastia fans.
It's a fucking disgrace.
I don't really understand in this day and age how you could be a racist, but if you are, probably just like kill yourself. Mario, we're on your side.
Of course.
Bastia, ban those fans.
As would any other decent human beings. You're a blot on the game. Get out. Get in the sea. Time for some shout-outs now, guys. The first in our section this week is Nathan McKissick, who thinks the East Fife commentator should be in our winners section after the part-timers beat full-timers Livingston. Again, run VT.
Now picked up by Duggan. He's on it! He's right on it! Right side of the cup! That's a sensational win by East Fife against the full-timers!
My shout-out comes from Rory Ford, who thinks Coventry should be in our losers, as they haven't won in the league since November, which I think is bad in a football
So you
club.
are round up first, Coventry appearing on the show. Terrible owners as well. And last but not least is Jason Cooper, who thinks Sevilla should be in our winners section for their mental game against Osasuna, beating them 4-3.
Osasuna are going down.
They're going down. So that was another vintage episode of your Roundup, Pat. What do you think?
Oh, it was tip-top.
Top banana. Have we missed something out, guys? Let us know your suggestions in the comments below.
If you enjoyed this, then don't forget to check out this week's Stat Wars. We need your votes so that I can beat Chris Hamill into the ground.
He's currently winning 6-4, and I can't believe that his story about a fucking train is still winning this week.
It's an interesting train, but...
Anyway, and as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Catch you next time.
Shambles.
What?